So the basic lateral plank is not so basic when we really get into understanding the different pieces that we're using during the exercise. It's definitely one of the foundational core positions that we are going to want clients to train, especially when it comes to just securing those isometric positions. So biggest thing here is helping people understand what it's like to actually create and generate tension. There's a lot of variations that come off of the lateral plank, all of them starting probably from the modified side plank. We're gonna go through just the pieces of the basic lateral side plank, whatever it is you wanna call it. First piece we're gonna focus on is gonna be our setup. So a lot of people don't think about the tension that's being generated and that bottom arm. That is gonna be our connection to the ground. So great thing to cue and to coach is gonna be really creating a tight fist. Okay, it's called radiation. Creating that tight fist, flexing the muscles in that arm. Right away, if we do it, even from a modified position before we go up, elbow is gonna be stacked right under the shoulder. Okay, we don't wanna be too far out or too far in a weird position, but just stacking that joint right over the top. Create tension in the hand, and then thinking about pushing that elbow through the ground. Now, right away, that's to generate some tension in the lats, which again, lats, pretty underutilized core muscle when it comes to training the core. So a big piece, boom, you wanna create a lot of tension, all the muscles should be firing, and you can see it when you're watching a client. If they're relaxed, you should see that squeeze of the hands, and the color in the knuckles change a little bit. That's gonna know we're generating all the tension on that side. It's gonna make it a lot harder as well. Now, we're not gonna go through. First variation of this would be a modified side plank, starting with that bottom knee bent in order to allow us to build that strength with a shorter leverage point. But going through just our lateral plank or our basic side plank, feet can be two ways. Stacked is going to be harder from a stability standpoint, as I'm squeezing that hand, driving the elbow through the ground, pushing the hips up, and trying to keep them in line. All right, head just in a normal, neutral, comfortable position, trying to force my hips to stay up. You start seeing some shaking, that's a good thing, all right? Remind clients, squeeze the fist, pull that elbow in tight. That's gonna generate more tension through that core as well. All right, but two pieces, you can stack the feet on top. It's gonna be a little bit more challenging. Slightly easier is gonna be just creating a wider base of support by having that top foot come right over the top. The only downside of that for some people is that with that top foot over, it may contribute to a little bit of a rolling forward of the hips, but that's nothing you guys can't coach and cue, right? So boom, squeezing that fist tight, drive the elbow through the pad, engage the lats, pushing the hips up and hold. As far as what you do with the other hand, for me, I like to cue and coach having that hand actually on the obliques so you can feel your core working the entire time. Another option, if someone does struggle with maintaining position, right, really quickly they start to go down, it might just be helping them generate some more internal tension. So kind of a little hack you can do is actually combining hands, and that just generates more tension throughout your internal system. All right, so in that same position, if I'm gonna place my hand here and now push up, that's just gonna keep everything a little bit tighter. It's kind of taking advantage of the internal musculature in my chest, my shoulders, to help just create that tension. So no problem with doing that. That might be a nice in-between. If you have a client who's struggling to make it from the modified side plank, it might feel really easy. And then the moment you change the lever that much, it's like, oh crap, well, hey, give them a little bit more stability here, drive through that elbow, build that up before you can take the hands away. All right, I'm sure you guys have seen lots of cool side plank, lateral plank variations that come off of this, but really getting someone to master, it's a really great exercise to throw in. Your prime portion, you get through a little bit of mobility in that dynamic warm-up piece to get the core activation, or a really great exercise to be that second or third exercise in your triplex or even into your quadplex of exercises.